Hi there, my name is Lindsay Allen, and I'm going to be your instructor for this course. I have a silly side, and this is my costume from Halloween this year. Me and my colleagues, we decided to go down and do the ISU Halloween bowling to raise money for the United Way, and we were a basket of fruit, and I was the banana. So this is just to let you know that if you ever meet me on campus, and you pass me in the hall and I have a serious RBF face going on, just know that there is a funny person behind my RBF face. Okay, who am I? I am a senior clinical instructor here at ISU. I've been here a little over 6 years. I am a mom. I'm a dog mom. I'm a professional ball thrower for my dogs. I'm a Gen X survivor of floppy disks and mixed tapes. If you don't know what those are, you should Google them. I'm an expert at controlled chaos. I am a professional kid and dog cuddler, and so much more. And this is a picture of me and I have 3 sons technically. One is 28 and he's grown up and doing his own thing, and I haven't seen him in 6 years because he's been in the Army. But, whoa, technical difficulties. I have 2 more sons. Eli is going to be 12 this year, and Ethan's going to be 10. And this is us at the Darius Rucker concert this summer at the Portneuf Wellness Complex, and I love these guys. They are my guys, and we love doing things together. What do I do for fun? I love to walk. I love everything about it, and it doesn't matter what the weather is, sunny, rainy, snowy, winds blowing 100 miles an hour. I love to walk. And so to prove that I walk, I took a picture of my foot and my leg, because those are the things you want to see when you see when somebody's walking. No, in all reality, I'd actually taken a picture of something I found on a walk, and I used my foot to scale what it was. And so I censored it because it was really disgusting, and I didn't want you to throw up on your laptop. And what that is I walk the park that lives by my house, and I live out in Chubbuck by Bicentennial Park. And one day we were walking through the park, me and my dogs, and there was a giant rat laying in the middle of the walking path. I mean, it was as big as my foot. The only thing about it is that it was missing like the top half of it. That's what the really disgusting part was. And then there were some entrails kind of going down the side of the rat. And so this is just part of the rat, and it was as big as my shoe. And I had no idea that we have rats out here in Pocatello. But we do. I don't know. The hawks and that come to the park frequently that like to haul off with people's cats and squirrels, probably brought it in, is my guess. But so I walk a lot, and last year my Garmin watch told me I walked 1,743 miles around that. My goal is 10,000 miles a day, or 10,000 miles a day, not 10,000 miles, 10,000 steps a day. I put in almost 4 million steps last year, and I went through the pair of shoes in the picture is my 3rd pair. So I went through 2 pairs of shoes walking. I love the Skechers walking shoes that you just slip right on. They're super comfortable. They're like walking like a cloud. They do have some good tread, but I walk so much I just walked the tread right off the bottom and walked holes in them. So I love to walk. What do I see when I walk? I love to take pictures. I don't have a fancy camera. I just have an iPhone. Picture on the left was actually of the sun one day this last summer when there was just a slight bit of smoke haze from a fire, and the sun turned this bright big pink ball, and I didn't even have to have sunglasses on to take the picture. It was the weirdest thing I have ever seen. On the right, this is a picture of the moon coming up one evening this summer, just as the sun was starting to set. And this is just on an iPhone. This is no fancy cinematography or anything like that. What else do I see? I love to walk Red Hill by ISU where the pillars are. And so this is a cairn up there that somebody built on the concrete pad up at Red's Hill. And it just reminded me of like the balance of life. And I've been going through a lot of things in my life. And sometimes life is precarious and we have to balance things, but there's beauty in that. And so I love this picture of this cairn. And unfortunately, by the time I came back the next day, somebody had come up and wiped it out and rode a motorcycle and tore up all the gravel. And anyway, it was really disappointing, but I'm sure you can hear it in my voice. But on the right side, if you turn around behind Red Hill, there's a trail that goes up and down this lift ridge. So if you're into geology, this is a lift of when the mountains around here kind of collided together and pushed this rock up. That's why we have this big drop off here. This is the cemetery down here, and this is how Red Hill got here. If you love geography or geology, you should take a class on campus. There's some really good teachers on campus for geology. To me, it's very interesting, so I love geology. But those are the things I like to check out when I walk. And then this is another thing. So this last few months, there have been some incredibly beautiful sunsets out in Chubbuck, because we're just barely past the end of the mountain where Simplot is. And so we don't have any mountains on the west side when the sun sets. And the views have been spectacular. So get out, go for a walk. Even now, the sunsets are still this color, doing some beautiful things. Okay, so other than walking, what do I like? So I have 3 dogs. So I have Spot is on the left and Ember is on the right. These are my husband's pheasant hunting bird dogs that he says I have spoiled and ruined, and I didn't ruin them. They are still good bird dogs, and they walk with me every day and chase birds and squirrels in the park. But he was anti having dogs in the house, and so I kind of bought some blankets and just started bringing the dogs in, and they kind of grew on him. And so now they come in the house and they love to cuddle, and they are just the sweetest girls. They are sisters. Then here comes the love of my life. It's not my husband, unfortunately. For him, he's very disappointed. But we have a dachshund, mini dachshund, named Gus that my 11-year-old son saved up for. We got him not this last summer, but the summer before. So he's a 1.5 years old, and he is the love of my life. I had never had a small dog in the house before. I had grown up with cats and thought I wanted cats, and I'm deathly allergic to cats, so that wasn't going to work. But we got Gus, and I love him so much. If you've ever had a dachshund, you know they're funny, they're cuddly, they're barky, they have these quirky little personalities, and I just love him so much. Okay, what else do I like to do? What else do Gen X old ladies, because I have been informed I'm an old lady now because I'm from Gen X, like to do for fun? So like in old lady fashion, I love to garden. My 11-year-old son and we grew garden boxes this year. And so this is a picture. We had broccoli right here in the front, but we'd picked everything, and so we pulled up one of the plants. Then behind that we had carrots and we had peas, and then over here this is dill. There's a bunch of onions in this box, which is this box right here. We grew Roma tomatoes, hoping to make our own spaghetti sauce. And do you think that happened? No, it did not happen. We were overly ambitious because the tomatoes were coming on when school started, and then it didn't have any time. We had corn. This is asparagus over here in the far right. Corn. There's little teeny pumpkins hiding over here on this side. Because of the 3 sisters, if you ever read about it, the Native Americans, they grew corn, squash, which would be pumpkins or squash, and beans, and they feed each other in the way they grow. And there was another box over here that you can't see, and that was just some more peas and some more carrots. And so we grew our garden this year. We dried our own onions, and we put them in the basement, and we have been eating onions all winter long that we grew in the garden. And I don't know what to tell you. Homegrown food tastes so much better than the stuff you buy at the store. Okay, so success tips. Things I wish someone had told me in college that I want to share with you. There's a lot of research coming out because we are at the precipice of a bunch of research that started back in the 70s and 80s on different topics and all the things that we wanted to know about. And so these are the things I've learned in the last year that I feel as students are helpful. And this isn't like how to be successful in an online class. Buy yourself a planner and get a notebook or a pen and keep track of your stuff. This is not those kind of tips. These are different tips. So the first tip is walking is not a waste of time. There are tons of research, podcasts, and articles and things about walking. Walking does a ton of things. Walking creates lubricants in our joints that if we don't walk, we don't create those lubricants, and that's why a lot of people have knee problems and different things like that. So walking is good for our bodies. Walking decreases depression. It's proven that it decreases our depression because we're meant to walk. We're not meant to sit all the time. Personal things, like I'm in therapy for a traumatic upbringing and young adulthood, and walking actually helps process trauma. And so if you're even having a crappy day or something bad has happened to you, take a nice long walk. Move your eyes from left to right as you look down the path, and that's what we call, there's a processing that happens to process trauma. Anyway, probably more than you want to know. But walking is just good for you. So as students, we sit on our behinds a lot. We're sitting in a chair all the time. We're doing homework all the time. Get up at least twice a day. You can fit in 30 minutes in the morning, 30 minutes at night, 15 minutes in the morning, 15 minutes at night. Walking is super good for you and will help you as a student and keep you going. Number 2, sunshine is a reset button. So in sun, there's ultraviolet light, which is the one they tell us to be afraid of because that leads to skin cancer. But there's also infrared light. And did you know that sunshine heals the body, that our bodies absorb the infrared light from the sun, and you don't even have to be standing in the sun. You can be under trees, and trees reflect infrared light. You should Google it because there's some really cool pictures of this. But they reflect that light, and we absorb that light into our bodies, and it helps our bodies heal. It helps our bodies process, kill all the what they call killer cells, the ones that helps us create killer cells to kill the cells for things like cancer and stuff like that. And hospitals, that's why hospitals have big windows, is because you heal twice as fast when you are in the sunshine regularly versus in a building with no windows. And so take some time, even if it's just I step outside at lunchtime, have lunch outside. If it's cloudy, you still get the benefits even if it's cloudy outside. So make sure you go outside, get some sunshine, whether it's bright sunshine or hiding behind the cloud. It's going to be really good for you. Step number 3, you're going to think I'm crazy. Step away from screens on purpose, okay? Put your phone down, step away from your computer, go do something that has nothing to do with a screen. So there's research coming out that talks about how having screens, being on electronics all the time, having information at our fingertips, never getting the chance to turn our brains off, is putting people in what we call the sympathetic flight or fight response. So it activates the sympathetic nerve, and your body goes into fight or flight, and that's when we put ourselves in stress. And we all know college is stressful. I remember what that was like very well for years. But if we don't take the time to turn off our screens, we have that nerve actively going all the time. So we're constantly on high alert. Our bodies are in fight or flight, and then they start our stress goes up, anxiety goes up, depression goes up. So make sure you take some time twice a day if you can do it. Put your phone down, step away from your computer, go read a book, go take a walk, go eat an apple, go do some breathing meditations, do anything but be on an electronic. And check out some of the research coming out about electronics. It'll blow your mind. Step 4, eat like you want your brain to work. Okay, in all reality, I know this. College is hard. Not a lot of us come to college with a ton of money. I was like this. I ate so many ramen noodles. I am sure that China is they have tons of money just because I ate so many ramen noodles as a college student for so long because I was poor. I grew up poor in a poor family. I went to college. I didn't have any money. I ate a whole freaking lot of ramen noodles. When you can, and if you can, take some time to eat some fruits and vegetables, and try and stay back off of the sugar, because sugar is causing all sorts of health problems for everybody. Our bodies weren't meant to have sugar, and it's addicting. But as a student, your brain's going to work better when you eat protein, if you can. So make an effort to put some protein in your diet. Try and get some different colors of fruits and vegetables. Have an apple. If an apple's all you can have, that's okay. That's what I used to do. Ramen and an apple. Apples can be cheap. And try and limit your sugar and try and limit your caffeine. But I know I've been days where I've had to slam a Monster because I had to have some caffeine. So treat your body well, put some good fuel in your body, and that'll help you move through your classes. And the last one I wanted to share with you, manage stress like it matters. Stress, they are finding, is very detrimental, and we all know this, but there's a lot of research coming out that 80% of the diseases that we see now in our society, in Western culture, which would be the United States, Europe, things like that, is that 80% of the diseases we have, autoimmune disorders, are because of stress. That sympathetic nerve, that flight or fight response that I tell you about, because we're constantly turned on. You know, we have our phones by our bed. We shouldn't have our phones by our bed. We're getting on the phone first thing in the morning. We shouldn't get on our phones first thing in the morning. We should be protecting our time and our mental health by managing our stress. And I'm not gonna lie, college is stressful. I get that. Like, I remember my undergrad and graduate school, and I know I have a lot of gray hairs because of it. You're not gonna eliminate stress, but it's important to manage it. So take some time to recharge your batteries every day. 15 minutes of me time, whatever that me time is. Writing in a journal, not on your phone, okay? Me time as in giving a friend a call, reading a book, reading an article, taking a walk. There's a variety of things that don't trigger you and create more stress, okay? Don't read the news. Don't, get caught up in the drama of social media and things like that. Take some time to decompress, recharge your battery, and come back at it. 15 minutes. If you can just do 15 minutes of me time in the day, you are not selfish. Don't let anybody ever tell you that, but it's important for you, and it's going to help you with school. And if you can't do all these things, that's okay. Don't beat yourself up. I am human. You are human. We do what we can, and we do the best we can. And so those are my tips for you this semester. I hope you have a great semester, and I'll see you soon. Take care.